All right. I think we're good. Oh, I can remove it.
Yeah. Yes, yeah. This is kind of older.
Yeah, exactly. It's like vacation year.
Yeah.
Let's try moving this.
I got one like.
Yeah.
Can you like this like that little?
Move. Okay.
Yeah. It's like concentrated too. Over the years, it was amazing. Oh, yeah. They're really scary.
That's funny because I didn't have that experience. Lost everywhere.
Hi guys, I think we're gonna start now, so take it away. I don't know.
Okay. Oh yeah, so today we're gonna be going over latex and kind of some like resume tips for your resume and how to make it in latex. Okay, and this is the sign-in form for today, so please fill that out. Okay. And here's the link to the slides if anyone wants to follow along with what we're doing. Okay. So yeah, today we're going over latex. Next week, we're going to be going over LeetCode, and after that is vibe coding. And then today's agenda, we're going to be going over. Oh, yeah, of course. Okay, so now there's access. Now anyone with the link can access. So here's the link. Okay. Yeah, as I was saying, okay, today we're gonna be going first over like why your resume is important and like why you needed to kind of have it be like look good and like have good content. And then we're gonna go over resume screening, and then we're gonna go over something called ATS and what like why that's important to you guys. And then we're gonna go over some resume formatting tips, and then we're gonna learn about latex and overleaf, and then we're gonna do a demo on those two. Okay, so first we're gonna go over why is your resume important. So your resume is like the first thing that like recruiters or like club members see when you're like applying to like jobs or clubs, and it kind of just like summarizes your academic and professional experience. It's just kind of like it's just like one page like glance of like who you are and what you've done. So yeah, and it shows like what you can offer. So from your resume, they see if you're a good fit for the role or the company that you're applying for. And it really like is the like one piece of paper can like open your door to like interviews, like internships or other campus opportunities. Like I know like a lot of clubs, they have just like a resume drop, like that's all they care about when you first apply. And so it's just like overall just very important for like anything that you're applying to like in your career. And its impact on like clubs and job recruiting is that like, as I said before, most clubs and companies, they screen your resumes first to decide if you even get an interview. So you could do like all this interview prep and like be so ready to like talk to someone, but not even get to the interview stage because like of your resume. So that's why your resume is, it's really important to have your resume like fine-tuned and polished so you're able to get to the resume that you prepare for or the interview that you prepare for. And it helps recruiters quickly see if you're fit for like if you have like the technical skills or like the people skills, like the leadership skills for their role. So it helps them to see if you're fit for what they're looking for. And then a polished resume can be the difference between like getting noticed or you getting passed over. Like it's like just that one paper decides if you get an interview or not and if you get a job or not. So it is like very important to have a good and polished resume. Okay, and now we're gonna go over resume screening.
Yeah. So first of all, can I just get a show of hands? How many in here has ever made a resume before? Okay, that's pretty solid. That's basically everyone. Okay, who here used either Google Docs or Word to make that resume? Okay, so most of you. Okay, our recommendation is to kind of move away from Word or Google Doc and use something called Latex. We'll get to why later, but it's basically to get through the screening that we're going over now. But before we kind of get into the details, I think it's important for you guys to understand what exactly happens when you apply to a job. So especially in this market, there's typically like thousands of applications for a single role. And what this means is that it's basically impossible for a recruiter to like read every single resume. It's just not gonna happen. So how companies tackle this is through something called an ATS or applicant tracking system. So besides just organizing all the applications they get in, the ATS system also scans every single resume for whatever the company is looking for. And it kind of sounds a little nuts, but at this stage, they might reject like more than 90% of the resumes before a human even looks at your resume. And if your resume gets through the ATS screen, only then will like an actual human look at your resume. But you might only get like max 10 seconds at this point as well. So it's really important that we kind of optimize our resumes to get through both like digital ATS screen as well as the 10 seconds the recruiter looks at your resume. So our goal for today is basically to get you through this like two-step resume screening. So going over some resume formatting tips. I'm assuming most of you are applying to SWE roles. So that's kind of what we're going to be focusing on today. It's important that the resume is in like a readable template, both for the recruiter and for the ATS system. So we're just going to be using like a standard resume template today, like a SWE like industry standard. So a typical like SWE resume would be divided into a few different sections. So at the top, you would have your like contact information. So you would have your name at the top, your full name, and one line beneath, you would have some like basic contact information. Typically your phone number, your email, and maybe a few other things like your LinkedIn, for example, or maybe a GitHub if you have some projects you want to showcase. Beneath that, you would have the education section. This is quite important as we're still in college. As like a full-time like worker in a company, you might do the education section further down, but at this point, it's like one of the most important things. So you would put, of course, the college name, UCLA for all of you, your graduation date to the right. Beneath, you would put your degree, so either Bachelor of Science or Bachelor of Arts for most of you, and then your major, as you can see here. Beneath that, you would put either coursework, as you can see in this example. So that can be like data structures and algorithms, operating systems, software construction, discrete math even, like anything relevant. And you can also put in like potential activities you do it while in college. Beneath that, we have the experience section. As like as a full-time person, this would just be like professional experience. But as college students, like most of us don't have had like 4 different jobs, right? So it's okay to put in both like professional internship experiences, but also like if you have like a significant role in a campus club, for example, you can put in both. So the simple format here is just like the company or organization, your position beneath, and on the right you would have the timeline you were in that company and the location below. Beneath that you would have bullets, usually between 3 and 4, but if you really want to emphasize a position you had, you can add like up to 5, but do not go above 5 bullets for a single position. Underneath that, we have projects and activities. Here you actually have a few different options. You can either like combine them into like a single section like here, or you can split it into like a separate project section and then like a separate like activities or leadership section. No matter what you do, though, the project section is super important as a CS major. It's basically how you showcase your creativity, that you're able to build stuff, what technologies you're proficient in. So yeah, definitely focus on the project section. And at the bottom, you have the skills section. So here you'll basically just put like whatever programming languages you're proficient in, like Python. I guess all of you are learning C++ now, JavaScript, TypeScript, Bash, like whatever you know. You should also put some like technologies or concepts that you're familiar with. Let's say you built like a mobile app, you should put like mobile dev on there, or maybe web dev or full stack development. Just like put whatever like skills and concepts you are proficient in, put them at the bottom. Oh, yeah. Also, you need to treat your resume as like you do not have a lot of space here, right? You have a single like page to like showcase who you are as a person and like get a shot to get an interview at that company, right? So you really need to like treat everything as precious space. So try and avoid leaving a lot of white space next to the bullets. Like as you can see here, every single bullet point goes all the way to the right. You like use the full width of the resume. This is how it should be done. Like a bad resume would typically, for example, have a bullet that only like uses half of the width. Then you're like potentially wasting like 10 words where you could like add some sort of skill or experience. So just treat everything as really like precious space. Okay. And finally, some of you might ask like if you should put your interest on your resume. Short answer is no, and no one cares. So just do not put your interest on there. It's a waste of space. And now that you know how your resume should be formatted, you might wonder how you should write each bullet point. There are multiple different frameworks on how you should do this. But the one that Google recommends is one called the XYZ method, where basically you accomplish X as measured by Y by doing Z. So an example here is you reduce API response time. Like that's what you accomplish, right? You reduce API response time by 40%. So this is your measure. And you did all this by refactoring SQL queries and integrating Redis caching. So just kind of like a framework on how you should build up a good bullet point. So here's an example of like a full position. There you should differentiate between the first bullet and all the other bullets. So basically, if you get through the ATS screen and a human actually looks at your resume, like they won't be reading like this whole thing. That's just not gonna happen. Like they're busy people and then they don't have time. They're probably just gonna read the top bullet. So it's important for you guys to try and encapsulate everything you did in that single bullet. And like the rest of the bullets, there you can kind of go more into detail, like technical detail, like what you did. But the first one should really try and like you should try and encapsulate like everything you did. It's also important to like start every single bullet with some sort of action verb. So as you can see in this example, he architected and implemented some sort of things. They developed MMU performance simulation, designed, wrote, integrated. So the type of action words you use would depend on what kind of role you're applying to. But assuming you're applying to SWE, here are just some examples of like action verbs you can use. So like engineered, developed, optimized, implemented, architected, automated, refactored, deployed. But this is easy. Just go on ChatGPT and like SWE like action verbs. It's really easy to find more. Also in this example, you can see that he's like clearly like writing down what sort of impact he had, and also trying to include some sort of like metrics, right? For example, he spent like he did all of this, like the XY, I guess, and that led to like speeding up responses by 31%, or like with DOE to extend simulation interoperability to 5+ partner CPUs. So he's kind of like emphasizing the impact of his work, which is important. So, can you guys tell me, like, is this a good resume or a bad resume? And if so, like, what are the good parts and what are the bad parts?
Oh, that,
Yes. Why?
because not all the bullet points are making use of all the space.
Correct. That's a great point. Anything else? Is this guy using good action verbs? Like single page, is that a good action verb? No. Also, like, what's going on with like the order here? You just like put like this in the middle, and then you also put like additional info down here. these could probably be combined into a single section, right? Also, it doesn't have like graduation date. Yeah, there are a few different problems here. Yeah. So now moving on to like how you can build your own resume, basically.
So I know a lot of you guys mentioned that you guys use kind of like Google Docs or Microsoft Word to make your resume. And we're here to kind of like introduce a new kind of software or a new language called Latex that it's like kind of it's a typesetting system used for creating professional documents. So it like focuses like it helps your structure and your formatting through code, not just manual styling. Like I know in Google Docs, if you like delete a bullet point, then like your resume will like go all the way to the end. And LaTeX kind of helps that. It like automatically formats your resume to kind of fill the space that you want. Like it fills the whole page fully. And it's like it's great for like formulas, resumes, reports, or any like technical documentation where you want the formatting to be very standard and for it to be like the same across like all the pages that you have. And it produces really like clean and consistent outputs as it does format it like on its own. And it like, yeah, it just like it's very good for your resume to be kind of like and for it to look good. Like, yeah, there is like you need those keywords to get through the ATS screening, which we'll talk about later. But you also like when that one person like looks at your resume, like if they see that it like it's not structured right, or if it like fills up only half the page, then they'll like automatically think like, oh, this isn't a good resume. So latex is a really good way to kind of, it's more simple, so you don't have to like you don't have to style it yourself, and it does it for yourself, but it looks good. So here I'm going to introduce some basic LaTeX syntax. So yeah, so from the begin to the end is where like what is displayed on the PDF. So to start your commands, you want to do the backslash. So when you do backslash the begin, that's like the start of your document, and then backslash end is the end of your document. And then for a section, we do backslash section. So this could be for your education, your experience, or like your projects. So you want to do slash section and then the name of the section. So I guess like education at this point. And then I know when you're doing your resume, there's a lot of like bolding, italicizing, or like underlining. And you could do those by doing, you could do them inline. So you could do this is like normal. And then backslash text BF will be bolded, backslash text IT is italicizing, and then backslash underline is underlining text. And then I know when you're using your resume, when you're making your resume, you sometimes have special characters to save space, like the ampersand symbol, or if you're trying to quantify your achievements, you could be like, oh, increase production by like 30%. You'll need like the percentage symbol. So LaTeX does have some like special reserved characters, and you could use those characters by using the backslash and then the character. And then, yeah, and then this is just like the end of the document. And then LaTeX is kind of like VS Code where you do, if you do Command S, then it saves your output and it refreshes the page. So I'll show you in the next slide actually. Actually, I'll go into that later because this is just LaTeX. But yeah, if you do Command S, then it will save the output, and then you'll be able to look at the output with Overleaf, which what we'll talk about in the next slide. So yeah, we're gonna go into Overleaf now. So Overleaf is like an online LaTeX editor that you could use in your browser. So you could just use it from like Chrome or Safari or whatever browser you're using. And you don't need to like install or anything. It's just in the browser. And it shows your PDF output on the side as you're coding on the left. So it's like really easy to see what you're typing in and what the output is. And it's great for CS students for like to write resumes. I know I personally use Overleaf to write my resume, and like a lot of my friends and probably people in Hack do that as well. So this right here is the Overleaf kind of interface. So as I said earlier, you could see your code over here, and you could like fill out like, oh, this is GitHub, I want to change it to like LinkedIn or whatever. And if you command save or click this recompile over there, then it shows right on there on that side. So Overleaf is really good because you could access templates on Overleaf. So you don't actually have to code in LaTeX. You could just fill out whatever like names you want to like things you want to change. And Sebastian will actually show you guys how to do that later. So it's really good for like resume templates. I know we'll be showing you how to use Jake's resume, which is like a really popular one. And yeah, it automatically saves and compiles your work. You don't need to like download it like every time or anything. And then it makes learning LaTeX faster and easier for beginners, as you don't have to code everything, like all the styling and stuff in LaTeX. It like if you use a template, it's already styled for you, and you just need to add like your experiences or your name or anything in there. So it's like really easy to learn and really easy to use. Yeah, and now we're gonna go into the demo of Overleaf.
Yeah. So we've prepared a template for you guys to use. So you can just start like putting in your information. So just if you want to start building a resume right now, just scan this QR code. And I will give you a link to an Overleaf template that you can copy into your own account. And from there on, you can start filling in your own information. I'll show you how.
Is this the deadline?
Yeah, we can actually send in the Discord.
Yeah, sure. Which one? Which one? I'm all the way scrolling. Bro,
Hackschool. How did we generate?
this one?
Wait, Hackschool generate.
How do you not have the thing there? This is
Where
the
the fuck?
this is the funkiest
Announcements? Oh, here.
Yeah,
yeah. How do you even have the rules?
I have no idea.
Thing?
Is this one, right?
Yes. that
Yeah.
one.
I think we'll have to delete the recording. Like Jens Halloween. Okay, does everyone have the template up and running? Let me know if you have any issues. I can come around and help. Like, can everyone like see this on your back screen? Okay. So you don't really have to worry about the syntax right now. Just try and like identify like where in the code you see like the things in the resume. So actually you can just like double tap like anywhere on the resume and it will like move you to where in the code that is. So if I, for example, like double tap Joe right now, it will take me to like where I would put in the Joe Bruin name. So here, like, can you see or should I make it bigger? Is this fine? Yeah. So for example, if my name is Jeff Bruin, Jeffrey Bruin, actually, you would just like type that in here, press recompile, and it would like update here on the right. Let's say my graduation date is January or like December 2027. I would just like switch out here, recompile, and it like changes there. For position, let's say I was a like software engineer intern. I could just type that in here, recompile. It will like show up. So it's very, very simple. Like nothing compared to like the C++ you're doing right now. Yeah. So at the bottom here, let's say you want to add like whatever programming languages you know. You like switch out category 1 with, for example, programming languages. And for example, let's say you know Python, JavaScript, TypeScript, and C++. You would just like type that in here, press recompile, and it will update down here. So it's very, very simple. And when you're done, you would just like press download here and your resume is ready to go. Any questions or any issues? Nothing? Just, yeah.
You should be able to just, did you get the link? Okay,
Any other issues? No. Yeah. Oh, you have to make a call.
Oh,
So, did you find out? Okay.
what's your student like? Oh, wait. Oh, yeah. You just make a call. No. That's what I usually. Okay, but like. Oh. Yeah, so it's here. You can just like take that off more. And then you might change it. Wait, I got it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
You make me sound. Okay. Yeah, so you have.
I got 2 hours ago, though. I was failing.
See the high school. Okay, but that's it.
I know, it's like, there's no, we can have no.
You make the account. No. Okay, so first you have to make an account. Okay. My phone said it this. Oh, really? Yeah. I'll do it after that. Okay, sure. So basically, like when you make an account, you like press like the home button there. You'll see like the Hackschool template. You just like check the box and go like the 3 dots and press make a call. Okay. So from there on you can do anything. So when you log in, that comes to show here. Yeah, or like you would like go here. I can show you on I can show you how to do that. Thanks.
Yeah. So like you need to make an account first, right? So when you do that, you'll have this like dashboard. You would see your Hackschool template here. Just like check it off, press more and make a copy. And then you would put your name like, okay, Sebastian resume, for example, 1 copy. And then you can open a new one and start like editing from there. Yeah. Any other questions? Yeah.
What is this? ATS.
Sorry?
Why would this like pass the?
Why it would pass? Like,
it's more like better for formatting.
yeah.
Like ATS, the thing that's better for ATS is like the keywords that you use. So you want to use kind of like very like strong words and like kind of like, oh, like KPI targets or like, oh, software engineer or like backend database, something like that, like MongoDB.
Yeah.
But like using like Latex or like any other software, you could use like, I personally use Overleaf, but there's probably other like things that people use. It's like just better for formatting. Like if you like delete a certain line, like it won't like, you'll have some like white space at the bottom, but with Overleaf, it like automatically like fills it out.
Yeah.
Gotcha, so it's a formatting thing, this Latex actually just help pass the ATS, it's actually just what's on your resume
Yeah.
content. Okay.
It's more
Yeah.
for formatting.
And also like if you make a Word document and you like, let's say you use like the wrong font, some ATS like parsers might struggle. But with Latex, you can be like 100% sure that it will like go through the ATS. Like it will be able to read it for sure.
If you look on Overleaf, there are some like templates that say like, oh, 70 plus ATS rating or whatever. Like you can like look through, like there's a lot of templates that like if you're not applying Suite, if you're applying for like another role too, like there'll probably be like templates for that.
think to just add on to that, I think the reason why your resume did not pass screening could be because of two reasons. The first one is that your resume, like, you don't have like certain skills or the content is not good enough. But the other reason is that maybe like there's something wrong when a system is trying to parse your resume. Like there's not really too much that we can do about the first thing. If you don't really know Java, there's nothing we can do in a short time. But I think what we're trying to do here is just trying to minimize the cases or like number of cases, the number of cases too, or case two, sorry, that I was talking about. Basically just to just make sure that formatting does not get in trouble with.
Just removing one potential roadblock, basically.
Yeah, so it's not like if you do this, your resume will pass the screening 100% because there's too many of them. But we can guarantee a resume pass.
Yeah. Anything else? I think that's it then.